outsider influences on different cultures. The overarching question, should outside views influence a change in a different culture? So some may argue that influencing change in a culture may be negative, but I believe that there are multiple positive outcomes that overweigh this. So the importance, all cultures have differing views, and believing that one culture is superior to another can lead to violence such as genocide, hate, and war. But the belief that you should view a person's actions through their own culture can lead to submissiveness in debates over human rights, such as taboos, the one-child policy, and female genital mutilation. Understanding the problem. So there are two different philosophies on this issue. There's the view of ethnocentrism and cultural relativism. Ethnocentrism believes that there are positive effects on influencing change in a different culture. They believe that you should view a culture through your own view. And then cultural relativism believes that you should view a person's actions through the values of their own culture. So understanding the contrast, beliefs of cultural relativism. So there are 6 tenets of cultural relativism. Basically, all cultures have different moral codes. This leads to no objective standard and no one moral code can be better than the other. There are objections to cultural relativism. Cultural relatives believe that morals are subjective, which can lead to problems such as that not every culture can be correct, and people can belong to multiple cultures with contrasting views. So beliefs in ethnocentrism. Ethnocentrism is the belief that you should view a person's actions through the view of your own culture. See, this can pressure change in certain issues such as human rights in cultures where these are lacking. Objections to ethnocentrism. So ethnocentrism can cause clashes between different cultures, leading to genocides, hate crimes, and war, and this can lead to a closed-minded opinion of other cultures. So which is better? Ethnocentrism can seem more aggressive than cultural relativism, but it can also push important ideas such as human rights. Cultural relativism has a justification of certain breaches of human rights. So the World Health Organization reports that 200 million women have forced genital mutilation upon them in the Middle East. See, a cultural relativist would believe that you could justify this action. An ethnocentrist would believe that you should change this. I believe that ethnocentrism is better because it has certain influence on human rights. So issues, human rights. Many cultures have restrictions on human rights. So pressure can be good. There are cultures that still have many taboos, such as slavery in Mauritania as of 2018. And in Afghanistan recently, there were peaceful protests that turned violent when officials attacked protesters. Adopting ideas. So acculturation is the adoption of ideas from one culture to another. So some positive examples of this, which have been from influence of change, are recently there is more gender equality in countries such as Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Iran, all in the Middle East. And these have also led to development of a better judicial system in countries such as Pakistan. This is because of the culture of the West translating to the Middle East. So stimulus sources. Attitudes towards women in the West. So in this stimulus source, the author talks about burqas and how many people believe that submissiveness in Islamic culture is harming women. But then as a cultural relativist view, you could say that this is not bad. But then later on, in a different interview, she has said that cultural relativism, although it can be good in respecting other cultures, it has limitations on helping out women in need of basic human rights. And then the historian as a participant. So this talks about different views, insider and outsider or eyewitness views. The author believes that in cases, it is better for one to view a place as an outsider, or in this case, with ethnocentrism, as a different culture, because it can be less biased or less clouded of a view. So solution. I believe that people should follow a more ethnocentric view when viewing other cultures, and that there should be implemented a universal set moral code that is followed by all cultures to lessen human rights conflicts. So the Model UN, or the United Nations and CEDAW have already implemented many treaties in different countries to help this. And then there are some limitations to my solution. So there are the disregard of traditions that can be very, that can seem as an attack to another culture. And it can be hard to force implementation with these simple treaties. However, my solution is better because there is no stress on economics, which can help cultures and countries more readily accept this view. And there are the obvious basic human rights. So what do you think?
All right, so let me ask you 2 questions. So, how did your research evolve as you moved through the process? And did your research go in a different direction than you originally planned?
Well, it's interesting. When I was starting my research, I actually believed that cultural relativism was the better way to go. But then after reading many interviews and articles, I changed my mind in thinking that this was better because of the violation of human rights that all people should have.
Okay. So explain your level of certainty about the conclusions.
I am quite certain that this is the best because if you think about it in this way, would you want to be a slave yourself? No, you would not want to be a slave, and you would not want to justify the slavery. So by thinking about ethnocentrism, we can see that this certain idea from a culture is morally incorrect.
Okay. All right. Thank you